Hey guys, Johnny Crims 2000 here, and welcome back to Let's Play Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro, and here we go with a new level and a new costume. This costume is called the Insulated costume, and it gives you enhanced strength. That's its special ability that you get from using this costume. This costume actually originated from Amazing Spider-Man number 425, and it's actually a costume that Peter Parker made in order to combat Electro. As you can probably tell by the name Insulated, it sort of prevents him from getting hurt from electricity. In this game it doesn't do all that much. Like I said, the only thing that it gives you is enhanced strength. But then again, in this game there's not really that many enemies that like to shock you, I guess, other than Electro himself. So it's no big deal. Other than that, it's just like a regular costume besides the enhanced strength, of course. And one interesting note, a little bit of trivia here, is that this costume actually shows up in other Spider-Man related video games. There's actually 3 more video games that this game appeared in. It appeared in Shattered Dimensions for Ultimate Spider-Man. It's an unlockable costume for that game for Ultimate Spider-Man. And then it also returned in Spider-Man Edge of Time, except that in that game it was a PlayStation 3 exclusive. So if you ever wanted to find out if you wanted to get that game, I would suggest getting the PlayStation 3 version if you're a fan of Spider-Man, so you can get this sort of exclusive costume from in that game as well. And the last time that we've seen the Insulated costume was in the Amazing Spider-Man number 2, the video game. And again, for whatever reason, it's also a Sony exclusive costume in that game as well, so you can only find it on the Sony consoles. And again, in that game, it's sort of like the same deal, right? Like the main villain in that game is Electro, so it makes sense to have this costume in there. But anyway, for this level that we are in right now, all we have to do is get to the end of the level. It's sort of like the same thing. These are the sort of levels that we saw a lot of in the original Spider-Man. You know, wide open but still straightforward on top of rooftops. In this level, as you can probably tell from the bottom there, if you fall down off the buildings, you pretty much die. So that's another reason why these levels in particular are very much like the levels that we saw in the original Spider-Man. In this game, or in this level rather, you do have to take out the turrets. These turrets right here in particular, you have to take them out. The only thing that I would suggest though, or a little bit of advice here, is that they do take a lot of damage. They follow you around. So oftentimes you may end up getting shot, like I'm getting shot right now, without even knowing where they are at. So a good thing that I like to do is just to swing very, very close to the buildings, especially when you get to a building where the turret is at, like I just did right here, and then just start wailing on this thing. And for these purposes, don't be afraid to use your web shield, whatever that's called, the web dome. Especially because, as you guys saw there, while you're punching one turret, it may be that another turret may be shooting at you at the same time. So the web dome actually protects you, and it also acts as a hit, so that you're doing 2 things at once. And then that's really it. There's obviously enemies here, and I tried to do the web yank, but it didn't work. Anytime you see me doing the web dome by accident and I'm like nowhere near enemies, it's probably because I'm trying to use the web yank. But anyway, once you get to the end here, all you have to do is get to on top of this warehouse and we get a cutscene.
You're being followed.
I know. You go on ahead. I've got something planned.
Looks like this is the place. Now I know I have that invite here somewhere. If this were a movie, someone would spring a trap right about now!
And now we got a new level here. We're at a classic warehouse. And just gonna tell you right off the bat here, because I really want to talk about the costume that we're wearing. all you have to do in this level is that you just have to take out all the enemies, all the thugs, and that's pretty much it. It's a straightforward one big giant warehouse, one big giant room. Strange thing about this level though is for whatever reason the camera seems zoomed in particularly close behind the back of Spider-Man. I don't know why. It only happens in this level. Like, look at how zoomed in it is. I don't know if that was intentional or not. I'm assuming it is. But anyway, we are wearing the Spider Phoenix costume, and this costume has a lot of nifty abilities. It's invulnerable, it has enhanced strength, and it has enhanced web swing, which just means that you can swing for, a lot farther. In the comics, it debuted in Spider-Man number 25, and it has a little bit of an interesting history. By the name alone, Spider Phoenix, you may think that this is Spider-Man being possessed by the Phoenix Force, the same one that possessed Jean Grey from the X-Men, but it really isn't. In the comics, the group known as Excalibur was helping Spider-Man take out the villain Arcade, who is sort of like this evil genius who does a lot with technology and stuff like that. And they took him out, and he gave CPR to Phoenix, and after that he gained these powers that were similar to the Phoenix Force, but it was later found out that he just had this device on his back that Arcade had made, and which gave him the illusion that he had all these enhanced powers because of the Phoenix Force. So if you look up at a list from Marvel themselves of the list of hosts that the Phoenix Force has possessed, you won't find Spider-Man in there, and that's because he never really was a proper host. It was just sort of like a ruse, if you will, made by Arcade and one of his machines. So in that sense, he's kind of like Captain Universe from the first game. Captain Universe from the first game, he was sort of invulnerable. He was sort of like this he was the strongest costume you could get in that game. And in this game, this sort of plays that way. The only thing about this one is that you do have a limited amount of webbing, as you guys can probably tell. But anyway, once you take out the last thug, all you have to do is go over him and trigger a cutscene.
Alright, Chuckles. You're gonna tell me everything you know.
I ain't telling you spit.
I thought you'd say that. You know, I've never really suspended a man like this before. I hope this web line holds.
Okay. They said something about an airfield. Hangar 18. It's all I know, I swear.
Now there's a good thug, you see? You're not as dumb as you look.
Get up, wall crawler. I'm not done beating on you yet.
Shocker! Nice to see you too.
You like that, huh? Well, hold still, because you're gonna love this.
And holy crap, we are introduced to the very first boss level in this game. We are fighting the Shocker, and right away I have to talk about the boss fight because it is rather problematic. Now what you have to do is, you guys notice right there, I just took off a whole bunch of health by doing the web yank on one of those crates that was suspended above the Shocker. Now that was actually very, very lucky on my part. It's usually not that easy. Like right there, I'm trying to do the same thing again, but it's just not working. The problem is that Shocker by himself, you have to use the crates or the barrels and things around this room in order to lower his health. You can try to punch and kick him and web yank or web ball him to death, but it takes a really long time. And as you guys notice down at the bottom, there is a time limit of sorts. If the little fire graphic gets all the way to the right, then the whole room explodes and you get a game over and you have to do it all over again. So I suggest pulling down the crate if you can. It's just not the easiest thing in the world to do. Like I said, I got very, very lucky. And it's actually pretty strange that they have a boss at the beginning of the game that's actually so difficult and it takes so much work to do. But anyway, the costume that we're wearing right now is called the Negative Zone costume. It doesn't have any kind of abilities whatsoever, so it's basically just like a straight up, you know, it's kind of like normal Spider-Man just with a coat of paint. He got this in the comic books. Spider-Man got this when he visited the Negative Zone, which is, as you guys could probably make it out, a different dimension in the Marvel universe, and he went there to save two children that had gotten in there. And when he went in there, his color the color of his costume changed to what you see there, the black and gray. And a little bit of trivia, this costume also reappeared in future Spider-Man games. It reappeared in Shattered Dimensions as a costume for Spider-Man Noir, and it appeared in Edge of Time. If you have a save file of Shattered Dimensions, you will unlock it at the beginning. And it came back for Amazing Spider-Man. But anyway, guys, I'm about to beat this guy, and thank you guys for watching. This has been part 2 of Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro. I'll see you in part 3.
I believe that's all the time we have for today. I think we made some real progress today, Shocker. I really do. Hey, when you get to prison, remember to share your feelings with the group, okay? Let's see. What was it that Thug said? Hangar 18, right? There's a Hangar 18 at the airfield. I don't need pointy ears and a cape to figure out that this is probably another heist.